Now, here's a man who, in my opinion, has never really received the right amount of credit for what he achieved during his boxing career. He's now getting the praise for his life as a trainer, even if his boxer, James DeGale, recently dubbed him a psycho for making him run in about 6 inches of snow at 6 in the morning. I'm talking about, of course, Jim McDonnell. Now, he lost world title fights to Brian Mitchell and the extraordinary Azuma Nelson, and he retired Barry McGuigan in a fight that has taken on a few mad myths over the years. And he masterminded, we should never forget, the Danny Williams destruction of Mike Tyson. I'm delighted to say that Jimmy Mack joins me on the line now. Jimmy, you there, kid?
Hi, Steve. All right, bro?
Yeah, I'm fantastic, friend. Jim, first of all, I'm going to ask you, obviously, about DeGale and what's happening with that. And we will talk a bit about what you did in your career, because everyone tends to skip over that now. What's happening with James, first and foremost, Jim?
Yeah, James is due to box on the 13th of February at Wembley.
Yeah.
It's start of a big year for him, obviously.
Of course.
I've said publicly that every 20 years you get a special fighter comes along in the sport. We've got Mayweather at the moment in America, and I think James DeGale is going to be Britain's answer, because this kid, for me, just watching him and seeing his application, I was interested to hear Kenny Anderson almost call James out there on the.
It was no almost, Jim. He did call him out. He said he won't fancy fighting me, suggesting they had a bit of history. Perhaps something happened at the Melbourne Olympics. The Melbourne Commonwealth Games. Let James know about that, because no doubt he'll want to reply.
Oh, James will reply, please believe me, and he'll hope Kenny does really well, and I'm sure he'll enjoy boxing, because that'd be everyone's worst nightmare.
Yeah, he's always been. I tell you, I like Kenny Anderson because he is outspoken. He's like he's the Scottish James. He's the Scottish James DeGale.
He's a good fighter, Kenny Anderson.
He's a good fighter, don't worry about that.
James DeGale is going to be a great fighter.
Yeah. Jim, let me ask you this, Jim. I mean, and I know we came to my show in Loughton, my live show, and you know the G I gave you. I gave you that G not because you were there. I gave you it because I've known you a long while, and it's true. And you look at what you did, Jim. You look at those two defeats in world title fights, the Brian Mitchell defeat and the defeat against arguably the greatest ever African fighter, Azuma Nelson. Okay, now. And then there's the tricky one, and this is the one that everyone tends to forget. It's the victory over Barry McGuigan in 1989. So it's 21 years ago. And what's amazing about that is that I talked to a few people about that, and everyone assumes that McGuigan was like 38 and that you were some whippersnapper at 24. But you were both, if I'm not mistaken, 29, and he was only about 6 months younger than you. That's right, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, that's 100% right.
I mean, that's staggering. That I mean, I've got nothing against McGuigan, and he was a great fighter, and he won Sports Personality of the Year and the rest of it, and he was sponsored by Lacoste, as I always tell people, which must mean he was brilliantly popular. But it's amazing, isn't it, how people look back on that fight through rose-tinted glasses and don't really see what happened.
Obviously, like when the fight was made, Barry already was on a guaranteed world title shot.
Yeah.
He'd done what he had to do to get it. He'd got the position, got the rankings. I was always quite boisterous with the challenge throughout my career, because I always wanted to fight the best, as I proved by facing Nelson, facing Mitchell. I never ever ducked a challenge in boxing ever, or in life in general. And and you know, as you said about the fight, it would have been for me. You know, I boxed. People tend to forget I boxed 5 world champions, to beat 3 of the 5, and even to this day, I still feel empty, because to not have them words on my head that I was world champion is still a bitter pill to swallow. Something you've got to get on with now, because it's too late. I ain't ready to come back. Yeah, I agree with what you said, because coming into the fight, you know, all the talk was of what round Barry McGuigan was going to win in. I was the only one who really backed myself. I backed myself with hard cash, by having a big bet on myself, and also verbally at the press conference on the way through. I always had the belief in myself above anything, that, you know, when it comes to boxing, that, you know, I was capable of beating anyone. And, you know, I think I went 24 professional fights before I actually lost a round of boxing.
Oh, wow, I didn't realise that.
And that was boxing, sort of a couple of world champions along the way as well. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I rank right out there with all of them in the boxing science.
No, in the boxing science, and also, Jim, it would just be nice one day if you did get, in my opinion, if you got a bit more respect for what you did in the ring, because you're getting the respect as a trainer. I'd just like to see you get a little bit more respect for what you did in the ring.
It's really, really strange. It's a strange week, really. Terry Lawless just passed away.
Yeah.
You know, I was with Terry, obviously, and
of course.
we look back on the good old days and that, and not looking through rose-tinted glasses. But even in the press statement I read the other day about Colin Hart, he came out with a statement of all the European champions, and British champions, and world champions that Terry Lauder's had trained. He said everyone's name barring mine, and I thought that is.
So you even being ignored?
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much about him. He's about 207 years old, Colin. He's a lovely fella and all, but he's you know what? He's probably forgotten. Listen, Jim, I've got to move on. I've got another guest lined up. Jimmy McDonnell, it's been a pleasure having you briefly on the show tonight. I just wanted to get you on because I told you in December I would, but I'll speak to you closer to, if I can, Jim, I'll speak to you the night before the big show in February, okay?
Yeah, I'll just say to everyone who's listening to the show, enjoy James DeGale because he's going to be one hell of a fighter.
He's a special talent, he is indeed. Jim McDonnell there. We love Jim McDonnell. We really do.